All right, Algebra 2, I'm going to go over your subtracting rational expressions worksheet. So this is the exact same process as adding, right? Now we're just going to be subtracting our numerators. So in our first example here, I have a common denominator, so I don't need to do anything to change the denominator. I know that's going to be x minus 5. So all I need to do is subtract my numerators. 7 minus 4 is 3. And that is my final answer. In the next one, I have an 8 and an 8x. So I'm actually missing that x factor in the denominator in this fraction. So I need to multiply by x over x. So I end up with 5x over 8x. Okay, this one's going to stay the same. 3 over 8x. And now that I have that common denominator of 8x, I can just subtract the numerators, and that's going to end up being an expression because 5x and 3 are not like terms. All right, next problem. I have a 3x in the denominator here and a 5, so I actually need those factors on both sides here. So 3x over here and a 5 over there. So let's adjust these fractions, make our equivalent fractions. So I've got 5 times 7 is 35, divided by 15x is now my common denominator. Take away 6x divided by that 15x. So let's just rewrite that all in one fraction. 35, take away 6x. And if I were to write that in standard form, I would want to actually write it like this, negative 6x plus 35. Remember to keep your sign with the term, so that negative stays with the 6x and that 35 needs to stay positive. Okay, so either one of these are actually acceptable answers. All right, and then here, remember I've got these quantities that I need to also replicate in the other fraction to use as, to create my least common multiple. So I need an x minus 5 over here, and I need an x plus 2 over here. So my common denominator now is going to be x minus 5 times x plus 2. Let's distribute our numerator. I have a 7x, take away 35. All right, and then in the second fraction, my same denominator, x minus 5, x plus 2. We've got a 4x plus 8. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky because we have multiple terms in the second fraction here that I'm subtracting. This is where it's really important to make sure that you're subtracting both terms. Okay, so you need to basically change the sign on both of them. So when this becomes one fraction here, I've got my x minus 5, x plus 2. I've got 7x, take away 35. And now we are taking away 4x, and we are also taking away 8, okay? So you want to think of this almost as distributing a negative 1 to that second quantity there. And I can actually combine some like terms here. So I've got 7x take away 4x is 3x, and negative 35 take away 8 is negative 43. And that is my final answer there. All right, next one is very similar. I've got an x plus 7 quantity that I need over here. And I've got an x minus 3 quantity that I need over here. So now I have x plus 7, x minus 3. And let's distribute that 2. Actually, to simplify this, we're going to make this, just keep that as one denominator, and I'm going to put all my numerators in this one fraction here. So I've got 2x plus 14. Okay, take away 1x minus 3. And remember, we're taking away that whole quantity there. Okay, so I'm going to actually need to distribute that negative. So I end up with 2x plus 14, take away 1x plus 3, divided by x plus 7, x minus 3. And now we can simplify that numerator. 2x take away 1x is 1x. And 14 plus 3 is 17, divided by x plus 7, x minus 3. All right, and then the last problem, I actually need to factor this first. So if we factor that denominator, got 5, x minus 6, right? And so now you can see this is actually going to end up nicer because all I need is a 5 in that second fraction. So now I've got 2x plus 3 over 5, x minus 6, take away 15x plus 20 divided by 5, x minus 6. All right, and so now I have my common denominator, and I'm going to, remember, distribute that negative into this second quantity. So I've got 2x plus 3, take away 15x, take away 20 over 5x minus 6. So now that's going to be my common denominator, and just simply combine our like terms. 2x take away 15x is negative 13x, and 3 take away 20 is negative 17. It's really important. I know that looks messy, but it's really important to make sure that your answers are those two negative numbers, because otherwise that means you didn't distribute that negative. And those are the solutions to your subtracting worksheet.